Hey, hey Tal, how are you?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
Good. I like your show very much.
Thank you very much.
So my controversial opinion
Tell me.
is basically some research that I've done
Okay.
on the death toll,
Okay.
on the Hamas death toll. It appears to me that a large number of the children they say that are dead are actually child soldiers, or at least like soldiers, combatants between the age of 15 to 18. And because they're under 18, they count as children.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done some research on that. I've pasted it in one of your Discord chats. I can send it to you. But basically, the idea started was where I got the idea from. Sorry, was that the Guardian in the UK, where I am at the moment, interviewed a lot of Israeli reservists that finished their reserves in Gaza, and they asked them if they ever saw any children, any dead children. They said no, but they said that some of the soldiers were quite young. Some of the soldiers that were fighting were quite young. So I looked into it, and apparently there is a history of child soldiers, child suicide bombers, for both from the PFLP and the PLO, and also Hamas. And there's lots of training camps, like they send UNRWA students, or they used to send UNRWA students to Hamas training camps.
In short, what
And I
you're
just,
saying, I just want to speed up the question a little bit. In short,
yeah, yeah, that's fine.
you're saying that it seems like most of the children that have been killed in Gaza are they were potentially
Young
child
adults,
soldiers.
young adults, yeah, teenagers, young
At
adults.
first, I don't think it's a very controversial opinion. I don't think it's a controversial opinion, but that's just not a point where ever, no matter how much you want to argue, we're never gonna be able to win that point. Like this is not a point that's given to us. There's certain things in
Why would
the why because you're never gonna be able to get on the moral sympathy side of things. You'll never be able to convince somebody that it's still okay to kill a child, even if they were a child soldier. Even if the kid is coming
but
at you
it,
with a knife and an AK-47, to the global community at the moment, we can't defend ourselves from men hiding in hospitals. You're never going to be able to make that argument ever.
do you think that it's possible that if I still make this argument,
Mm-hmm.
that it reflects negatively on Hamas, that the reason why these children are put in harm's way is because of Hamas recruiting them at such a young age?
Sorry, one more time.
Do you think that people will react morally to the fact that Hamas is the one responsible for putting these young adults in harm's way, and it's not necessarily the IDF's fault that they have to fight these young adults?
It's not the IDF's fault, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Not to the world. I mean, right? It doesn't matter to the world. If it did, we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be fucking in Vietnam eating a sandwich. I'd be in Hanoi right now eating banh mi and probably surfing. I wouldn't be here right now. But we're not allowed to. We're not given that right. And it's not a sob story. Don't get it twisted. Anybody who's listening to, I'm not saying, "Oh, me." It's a right for me to be able to sit here and defend Israel. I take it as a big privilege. But we as Jewish people, as the state of Israel, we are not afforded the right to be able to protect ourselves. Fine, that's the rules of the game. I wish they were different. They're not. Wish they were. They're not. That is what it is. Hope that makes sense.
Um, it's a depressing answer. I would say though that when I talk about this with people on Discord, and they come up to me and say, "Why do you kill thousands of children?" and then I paste back a picture of a clearly child soldier, like in fatigue and holding a rifle. I said, "Children like this," then they stop arguing with me.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't matter. Like you could bring it to the UN. I mean, we've known that Hamas and Hezbollah and all these Islamic terror groups They force children to fight on their behest, but it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Bro, it's insane to say this. In Ethiopia in the last 4 years, 640,000 people have been killed. No one cares. Children, not children, no one cares. No one cares. Why am I even going that far? In Yemen, it's in our neighborhood. I went far. I went to Ethiopia. Yemen. Actually, Yemen and Ethiopia are right next to each other. I don't know what I'm saying. Lebanon. Syria. It's on our border. 500,000 people or more. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. This isn't a rational conversation. It's not a rational argument, and it shouldn't depress you. It's a schut. It's a privilege to be able to be a part of this and to be able to be a part of this fight. It shouldn't depress you. I don't want you to get depressed from it. I don't want you to get sad from it. Yeah, it's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight, but we also have an unfair advantage is that we, whether you believe it or not spiritually, we have miracles that happen for us all the time. I don't know if I really believed in miracles before I got here, before I decided to move back to Israel after October 7th. But I saw them with my own eyes. I mean, I've lived through a few of them. Iran attack 1 and 2 are nothing short of that. Like, they're modern day miracles that could have happened. Can you imagine for a second the miracles that we read in the Torah, in the Bible? Can you imagine explaining to somebody 3,000 years ago what we went through on the night of the Iran attack? Can you imagine explaining to somebody what happened that night who has no understanding, regardless of the Iron Dome and how amazing the Air Force in Israel and the team behind the Iron Dome protected this country, and how much Jordan stepped to the plate and America stepped to the plate and Saudi Arabia stepped up to the plate to help us and to protect us? Can you imagine explaining to somebody what happened that night? That is nothing short of a miracle. And the fact that the only person that was killed, unfortunately, was a Gazan man in the West Bank. That is, if that's not a message, I don't know how else you can interpret that as just consequence or a circumstance or coincidence. Sorry. 3 C words, I only got it on the 3rd try. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I've seen the miracles with my own eyes. And there's other things, but that's the one unfair advantage that we have. It's an unfair fight. It's a totally unfair fight. The odds are stacked so much more against us. I mean, we're 7 million people with our faces up against 400 million people who all want to vehemently murder us pretty much. It's an unfair fight. The odds are never going to be in your favor. But who gives a fuck, man? We got miracles on our side. That's something nobody else can say. Really. And it's not a rational answer to a non-rational conversation.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, brother. Thanks for calling in. It was very nice talking to you.